Hello again, and welcome to our third installment of the First Time Homebuyer series, presented to you by the Dolanch team. The hardest part about searching and touring and searching again for your dream home is now over. You found it. We've helped you negotiate an offer, and it's been accepted. Now what's next? The closing process. First, let's go over some of the common questions that are asked about the closing process. First, are there any reoccurring issues that come across during the closing process? Typically in our marketplace, the thing that reoccurs from transaction to transaction is the home inspection, the pest inspection, and the radon inspection. That's what you'll see on a reoccurring basis in the marketplace. Second, what is common concerns the first-time buyers have about the closing process? Typically the concerns is the amount of time it's going to take from offer and acceptance to closing. And again, typically in our marketplace, on average it's 45 days from start to finish. Third, about how long does a typical closing last? The typical closing lasts approximately 30 minutes and is held in the buyer's agent's office 98% of the time. Fourth, what is the hardest part about the closing? Typically the hardest part is just getting all the parties that are involved in the transaction to get to the same location for the closing, the same date and the same time that works for everybody's schedule. It's just a matter of coordinating everyone's busy schedule in today's lifestyles. Fifth, is there any advice that we can give to first-time home buyers? Absolutely. Most importantly is before you begin your home buying process, you want to contact the Dolanch team for an initial consultation to explain to you the entire process from beginning to end, as well as meet with one of our qualified mortgage professionals to get your pre-approval for your loan process. The rest of this video will go over some important things about the closing process, ranging from what's included in the closing costs to actually what happens at the closing. Some fees that are included with closing costs, typically in the marketplace, is the appraisal fee, which is done by the lender to determine the value of their home, and that's done at the very beginning of your mortgage application process. There are title fees by the title company, there are escrow fees, title insurance, and transfer stamps that are split equally between buyer and seller in the marketplace. And from time to time, we run into homeowners association fees if you're purchasing into a homeowners association, and also the preparation of a new survey. The good faith estimate is the document that you want to pay the closest amount of attention to. This document is also referred to as the GFE and is provided to you by your mortgage professional at the time of making your mortgage application. It'll list in detail all the fees that we mentioned above. Now, let's discuss what happens during the closing process. The closing practice typically will vary depending from state to state, but the following people in our marketplace that are typically present at the closing are going to be the home seller, the home buyer, the listing agent, the selling agent, and the settlement attorney or the settlement officer who will be coordinating the details for everybody at the time of closing. The following documents that you're going to be likely to sign at the time of closing will be the HUD-1 settlement statement, which is the detail of all the closing costs for the purchase and sale of the home for both the buyer and the seller, the Final Truth in Lending Act, which would be a statement that outlines the costs of the loan and the annual percentage rate, the promissory note, which is buyer's promise to pay, and the mortgage, and then most importantly is the deed. The deed is where the sellers sign over the ownership to the buyer at the time of closing and ultimately gets recorded in the county courthouse. Hopefully this video has eased any worries and concerns that you may have about the closing process. If you're ready to start the buying process, don't hesitate to contact us on our website at www.jimdolanch.com or reach us directly at 724-288-8800. Thanks so much for watching and happy home buying.